If we want to stick on this topic, I brought something to the program tonight that I didn't have time to even touch on, and it was a new release of. I mean, we heard the 13 or 14 words that the Department of Homeland Security is monitoring on social media networks. Now that's been greatly expanded. As a matter of fact, I haven't even counted them up yet. It's multiple pages. I found the article today. Actually, it was a CNN report, but they link the actual PDF file, which is the analyst desktop binder for the Department of Homeland Security. And so I read the 40-page binder, whatever, the reference book for, I'm assuming this is new trainees into the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. And it's mind-boggling. I don't know how deep you have got into this topic, but the whole system, this whole Department of Homeland Security, that encompasses, it encompasses everything. Directorate for Science and Technology, Directorate for Management, Office of Policy, Office of Health Affairs, Office of Intelligence and Analysis, Office of Operation Coordination and Planning, Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, Domestic Nuclear Detention Office, Transportation Security Administration, United States Customs and Borders, the Coast Guard, United States Immigration Custom Enforcement, United States Citizens and Immigration, Federal Emergency Management, United States Secret Service. All of this is encompassed. This one giant intelligence apparatus is encompassed to look inward at this point. This was all set up so we would be looking outward for the boogeyman that was coming over here to steal our rights. He was coming over here to steal our freedom. This thing is starting to turn inward at unbelievable speed. And when I read this and saw some of the phrases that they're monitoring for social media and then flagging them if they pop up, it's unbelievable. There's hundreds and hundreds of things that if you type it in on Twitter, if you talk about it on YouTube, if you get on Facebook and talk about it, it is getting flagged, period.
Yes, very much so. But, I have a thought about all of this reading of the emails and listening to the phone calls and monitoring of the blogs and the social media, and now this set of words that will get you noticed and all the TV cameras and everything. I think it's just a big bluff. I think the U.S. government is trying to find some way to keep the American people silent and obedient, and they're basically playing the same game with us that the Gestapo played with the people of Germany in the 1940s. We're watching you. Don't say anything. Don't speak to your friends. We will hear it. We will punish you for unpatriotic activity. And the government isn't that big, and they don't have that many people. So this is really, I think, in my opinion, it's all a big, giant bluff. They don't even have the resources to monitor all of our communications. They're just trying to scare people into staying silent and not talking with their friends and neighbors about what's going on. There's another one that they put out there today where they're talking about how government agencies and employers and even colleges are demanding the password to your Facebook account in order to evaluate you by human resources. And it's just another way of saying, be careful of what you say, or you won't get a job, you won't be allowed into school, you won't be hired by the government. Stay silent, stay obedient. And to me, it's a bluff.
Yeah.
They just don't have the manpower to go out there and keep an eye on everybody.
Look, I'm going to validate everything you just said there with their own document. You are 100% correct. It is Stasi, East German Stasi tactics, where you better watch what you say because your government or your neighbor might be on the payroll. Through this 40-page report, and those of you watching on JTV, you see the amount of notes I have on this. It is riddled. It is absolutely riddled with statements like this. Reports that pertain to the Department of Homeland Security and sub-agency, especially those that have a negative spin on DHS or component preparation, planning, or response activities, should be reported to management before sent in the regular distribution list. Senior TSI personnel will decide whether the information should be reported through normal channels. If there are any questions about whether an incident or other report item is valid, IOI, which is an incident of importance or of interest, then the manager will decide. Now, in this thing, you got to read the whole thing to kind of understand what these acronyms are about. But an item of interest is the top level moniker you can put on a news report. This whole thing's about monitoring media, from mainstream media to social media to everything. Monitoring media, having people sitting there reading newspaper articles, reading the internet, trying to gin up some kind of information they could put into the DHS pipeline. This book is littered with warnings. If you see something that denigrates the Department of Homeland Security or any of those aforementioned associate agencies that are under the umbrella of the Department of Homeland Security, there is warning flashes everywhere throughout this document that tells you report this immediately to a senior manager or to a senior officer to be evaluated. They put this under the category of items of interest. Items of interest is the most important thing that they talk about in this publication. If it's declared an item of interest, that means it's a potential imminent threat. That means it's a terrorist. That means it's a plague. That means it's something very severe that the DHS wants to know about. And commingled with this item of interest list is this warning. If you see something that badmouths us, you have to report it right now. So it's all about perception. You have to, if you see anything that denigrates the Department of Homeland Security, we got to stamp this out, or we will lose the perception that we are in control. That validates everything you just said there. It's all it's a con game, just like the markets. We pretend that. Go ahead, Karen. Sorry.
I'm sorry, but I think the biggest thing we do have to lose is the perception that they are in control. We are in control once enough of us recognize that. It's a small criminal cabal that has us all running around, that's connecting all the banks, that's connecting all the property, all the lands, Agenda 21, UN, NATO. Screw all of them. It's a smaller group that's trying to dominate the world. And so this is the consciousness that we have to shed when we finally step back and say, no, I'm not making this run anymore. You're not running over me, and you're not taking my money to murder people on the other side of the world. No.
Amen, Karen.
Oh, Michael.
Yeah, I'm still here. I don't have anything to add to that.
Yeah, that's the shortest I've ever heard you speak in my life. Seriously. I was about to...
I'm tired.
Yeah, I am tired. It's been a very, very long day. It's been a very, very long day.
Without a doubt.
Yeah,
All right, well, that's right. I'm supposed to be the host of this thing here. I keep forgetting that. So I'm supposed to be in charge of this hour. Okay, polka music for the next